Okay guys, I'm gonna try my best to show you all some of the tips and tricks that I use when we mixing and mastering songs. This is a 2-track stereo, just to let you know that we can mix the 2-track stereo. It's an MP3 file, which means the quality is down a little bit. The artist name is 𝐘𝐎𝐔𝐑. This is a song that I mixed before, so I wanted to use something that I was really familiar with. Keep in mind that this song is not 100% mixed, period. I'm just doing this for a demonstration to show you the difference in the plugins that I use compared to what other mixers might use and different things, and why I choose these plugins to use. I'm gonna play the song with the little bit of mixing I did with my main plugins that I use. Some of my main plugins I use is gonna be off. The mastering is gonna be off at the end. I'm gonna give an overall demonstration of the mastering, and keep in mind that this is a YouTube video, so it's gonna be an MP3 file, and YouTube gonna use they type of drop downs and everything. So just listen. The vocals may not be mixed 100% either, but just to give you an idea of the clarity, and I'm gonna walk you through some of the things that I do and why. Here we go. Let's listen to the song halfway through so you can get a feel of the song. Here we go.
She the type of girl every brother wants. A woman opinionated and freely blunt. Plus she carry an attitude that's nonchalant. No time for flexing while we counting up this money. We be stunting on our exes. Ain't no question when we riding high. On 95, there's no letter in the alphabet compared to you and I. Doing suicides in the parking lot with you right by my side. Can't deny you my ride or die. New age body and Clyde.
Now, of course, I got a effect. You can hear the effects once everything stopped. You hear the effects and everything. Everybody use effects and all that good stuff. So that's neither here nor there. Your preference is more effects or less effects. Now, the first thing I want to start with is my Diamond EQ, which is off right now. You see, this is the button right here. This Diamond EQ right here is one of the baddest EQs out on the market. A lot of people don't know about it. But each setting, when you dial into each setting, it's like you loading a different plugin each time. It's not your regular filter type EQ. Then your preamp has a little saturation, and it just gives it that warmth. So the first thing I do is I throw one of these on your 2-track stereo, and you'll get this. I'm gonna turn this off and on so you can hear the difference. It's on now.
She the type of girl every brother wants. A woman opinionated and freely blunt.
That's all.
Plus she carry an attitude that's nonchalant. No time for flexing while we counting up this money. We be stunting on our exes. Ain't no question when we riding high. On 95, there's no letter in the alphabet compared to you and I. Doing suicides in the parking lot with you right by my side.
I can hear more of the low end, and it's warmer. It's not louder. It's just more. It's stretched down for the low end, and the highs are brighter, but it's stretched. It stretches your frequencies of your music further. Now, I'm just going over some of the things that I use. Now, the next thing I want to point out, 𝐼𝐿𝐴, the nectar. Soon as on your lead vocals, I throw a nectar on there. Now, he did 2 lead vocals, so it's stereo. Depending on how many tracks you have, I would use the nectar on a bus and bust everything down to the nectar and stuff. But let me just demonstrate. What the first thing I do is in the chain is actually put this on, and they always like to put reverb on stuff. So I turn the reverb off because I use my reverb in my reverb settings. But vocal assist, we click this and use assist. This for these purposes, I'm just going to use moderate. Sometimes I use vintage, depending on what type style of music I'm mixing, light, aggressive, moderate. But right now we're just going to go with moderate. So I take a listen with everyone to see if this is the type of sound from the lead vocals we're talking about. Will let me know which one to pick. All right, now it's waiting for me to play the audio, the vocals. So let's play the vocals, and you're gonna hear. Well, first of all, I got it off, so let me turn it on so you can actually hear different things that this is doing. So as soon as I hit play, this is what it's gonna do. It's waiting for the vocals. First thing it's doing is analyzing the vocals, the dynamic. Yes.
Can't you see? It's our destiny that we was meant to be. Me and you against the world, bringing havoc overseas. Hit our guns out and the 𝐘𝐜𝐔𝐑, yeah, we hit it when the copper come. Always keep it moving product through the streets, yeah.
Now, a lot of times, this nectar will put reverb on it. I just take the reverb off because I got presets and different things that I use for the reverb. So this is another plugin that is very expensive. The �CR48 reverb package is incredible. So I'm just gonna touch on some things. I'm not gonna dig deep into every little thing. A little gate, EQ. These are the settings. Sometimes I will go and fine tune a lot of these settings where they dip the EQ and stuff at, but very seldom I will fine tune some of that. So now we got the music and we got main vocals. Another EQ that I use is a solid state from Native Instrument. Man, this is an incredible EQ, and a lot of people don't use this. And I always stick to a lot of things that I know of, which is the wave. We have the wave bundle. Just to give you a demonstration of what it is I'm using to mix and master with. These two plugins, along with, let's just go over the plugins since I'm on plugin happy. This compressor right here brings me a sound that no other piece of equipment, piece of plugin can deliver. This is my go-to 3 EQs and my #1 go-to compressor, period. This thing right here is incredible. So that is already on the vocals. A lot of these settings is already on the vocals to make it, a fair. You don't want to just, the person gave me the track with nothing on it. So I can't give you an example because somebody's going to touch some buttons when they call themselves mixing or whatever, So now let's go over the vocals and everything that we just heard. I got the Diamond EQ on the bus. So I got the vocals. Since he did a stereo vocal, I got the vocals coming through here. I backed off a little bit because the nectar put some highs in there. But I got everything on. So now let's hear the difference in the mix. Here we go.
She the type of girl every brother want. A woman opinionated and freely blunt. Plus she carrying an attitude that's nonchalant. No time for flexing while we counting up this money. We be stunting on our exes. Ain't no question when we riding high. On 95, there's no letter in the alphabet compared to you and I.
Now that, and I'm gonna turn off all this nectar stuff, my solid state EQs and the Diamond. I'm gonna leave the bus compression and everything. When you use compressors, it's all in fine tuning. All compressors probably give you the same sound, a little difference in the warmth, but it ain't that much that you can hear it on this YouTube video. So now this is with none of my secret sauce, so to speak. Here we go.
She the type of girl every brother want. A woman opinionated and freely blunt. Plus she carrying an attitude that's nonchalant.
That's dry.
No time for flexing while we counting up this money. We be stunting on our exes. Ain't no question when we riding high. On 95, there's no letter in the
That's with all the
compared
compressors.
to you and I. Doing suicides in the parking lot with you right by my side. Can't deny you my ride or die. New age Bonnie and Clyde. Sitting higher than the friendly sky. It's pure ecstasy. Can't you see? It's our destiny that we was meant to be. Me and you against the world, bringing havoc overseas. Hit our guns out and the 𝐘𝐜𝐔𝐑, yeah, we hit it when the copper come. Always keep it moving product through the streets. Yeah, shorty even took a couple felonies for me. Making moves out LA, couple bites in DC. Man, lawyer ass queen is all the king, me and that shit.
I always try to add a little more of that mid-low in there. A lot of people skip that out. When you're mixing music, you have to mix for the average, what a person is going to listen to it, average. The first thing people say to me is I want my song to hit real hard in the clubs. So they want a lot of bass. I want bass. People are misunderstanding with bass. The club has a sound system that's made to put out that type of bass. If you try to put that bass in your mixes, then when you go to the club and play it, if you make it that far to get it in the club playing it, they're going to have to turn the bass down because you got too much bass in it. You just need the bass frequencies to go that low and make sure they're there. So when your cars or whatever the case may be with them power amps in it, can pick up those frequencies. You don't flood that into your mix, because when you listening on a cell phone or anything with no subs or no real speakers, all you're gonna hear is muffle. It's gonna be messed. It's a messed up mix. I just wanted to explain some of the things that we're using when we mixing. This is very hard to do, y'all, because I'm giving ideas and points out. Another thing on the background vocals, I use an Orbit. This is incredible. I got stereo left and right on his backgrounds. I wish I could make these smaller. This is a background and this is a background. So we got left and right backgrounds. This is elevated, panned a little bit left, and this is elevated. This is lowered, elevated lower, and panned right, so to speak. This way you not only have a stereo left and right, but you have a stereo like he's higher. You know, he sounds in the headphones, he sounds like he's up here, and this person sounds like he's down here, front and back. And also I got him front and back just a little bit. So I try to not only mix with a left and right, I try to mix with a little depth involved also. Give things a 3D dimension type thing, you know. So I'm the worst person to be explaining some of it. It's an art form. Also, I use a lot of this right here. This plugin is a replica of a piece of software that they made for the Beatles. And I love to say that. I love to say that, man, because if they made this into a plugin and there's so many people using it, one of my old mixing buddies that taught me a lot how to mix, he loves this thing. He swears by it. And a lot of people don't even know what it is. Your lead vocal, you want your lead vocal, if you picture a baseball field, right? You got the pitcher. He's on a mount. He's in the middle. That's your lead vocalist. He's the one that starts to play. Any song that you're doing, that lead vocal is supposed to be the center of attention, period. Or if it's a lead, you know, soloist, bass guitars or whatever, that lead person needs to be elevated. So he needs chorus, a little bit of reverb, so he can be heard in the background and everything. You put more reverb and different things on your background vocals and stuff, because background means background. Reverb makes it sound like it's further in the background. So I just wanted to point that out. One more time, let's see what we're doing over here.
She the type of girl every brother want. A woman opinionated and freely blunt. Hey. She carry an attitude that's nonchalant. No time for flexing while we counting up this money. We be stunting on our exes. Ain't no question when we riding high. On 95, there's no letter in the alphabet compared to you and I. Doing suicides in the parking lot with you right by my side. Can't deny you my ride or die. New age Bonnie and Clyde. Sitting higher than the friendly sky. It's pure ecstasy. Can't you see? It's our destiny that we was meant to be. Me and you against the world. Bringing heaven overseas. Hit our guns out and the cops.
It's given a little bit more of a stereo spread instead of him just focused with like one. First of all, he already spread it because he did a double vocal, but his vocals are spread it and it sounds thicker. It sounds richer. It sounds like he's out front, you know. So that's one of my secrets that I use also. Then you got regular little delays and echoes and stuff and settings. Like I said, this stuff is not 100% mixed. The bus, you're overall compressing. Most of the time when I'm compressing the vocals, you got 1, 2, 3. The vocals is going through 4 different compressors. I like to compress in stages. The bus is compressing right after the de-esser. We have a de-esser on the voice. Now, I'm giving away too many of my secrets and stuff. A de-esser is used. The more you compress, the more you bringing up the floor and you kind of holding down the volume. So your volume of your vocals, I'm calling myself speaking with volume. The volume of your vocals, I want you to notice one thing if you don't learn anything else. A lot of people don't know this. When you whisper, it's all it's ST. Your STs in your vocals. If you scream and you're loud, your STs stay at the same volume. You whisper, no matter what. Your STs stay at the same volume. So when you're compressing, you're bringing the flow up and you're compressing the vocals, but no matter what, those STs stay at the same volume. So you need to use a de-esser. That's why the nectar, when we put this nectar in they chain automatically. And these are the pros right here. They got a de-esser right here.
She the type of girl every brother want.
Look how much de-essing is happening.
And really blunt. Plus she carrying attitude that's nonchalant. No time for flexing while we counting up this money. We be stunting.
Look how much de-essing that's coming through the first chain. Then I'm adding a little more de-esser on there, so his vocals don't be sounding like that. Get upset because everybody think they can mix. Mixing is an art, people. Mixing is an art. Watch this.
She the type of girl every brother want. A woman opinionated and freely blunt. Plus she carrying attitude that's nonchalant. No time for flexing while we counting up this money. We be stunting on our exes. Ain't no question when we riding high. On 95, there's no leather in the outfit.
And we know we're not. This is not a complete mix or anything. I would tweak a little bit more. I'm hearing things as I talk, but I don't have time to be doing that. Let's move on to actually your mixing and mastering. One of the things that on the mastering side, after we get the levels and everything, let's say we're finished and this is a complete mix, we'll throw another 𝐼𝐴Zotope type of plug-in and set, play around with the settings and stuff until we get the sound that we want. But this is one of the plugins that I was using back in the day when I did mix this song right here. So I'm gonna turn this off and on while the song is playing, right when the vocals hit.
She the type of girl every brother want. A woman opinionated and freely blunt.
That's off now. Now on.
No time for flexing while we counting up this money. We be stunting on our exes. Ain't no question when we riding high. On 95, there's no leather in the alphabet compared to you and I. Doing suicides in the parking lot with you right by my side. Can't deny you my ride or die. New age Bonnie and Clyde. Sitting higher than the friendly sky. It's pure ecstasy. Can't you see? It's our destiny that we was meant to be. Me and you against the world.
Now I see why I had that bass. I don't like to trim. These EQs, these pro EQs, I always like to use them to boost. And I use these EQs, come with any DAW, your normal regular EQs that come with a DAW. I never use them to boost. Very seldom you might see a boost, but I always use them to cut. Any DAW that you use, all those EQs that come with them, they are excellent for cutting because you're just trimming out pockets for your music and different things. But anyway, as you can hear, I don't even remember the settings and stuff. I got a spread on here. Watch this, before and after. Watch this.
She the type of girl every brother want.
Off.
A woman opinionated and freely blunt. Plus she carrying attitude that's nonchalant. No time for flexing while we counting up this money. We be stunting on our exes. Ain't no question when we riding high. On 95, there's no.
You can hear a big gap. When this plug-in comes in, you got to have a monster computer. We got a top-of-the-line MacBook Pro that can handle all this stuff. Even though we're using a 2-track, and we got tricks and different things if we need more CPU power. This is ozone 9, just to let you know, ozone 9, that I think that I'm going to be sticking with the rest of my life. I don't care what they come up with. Every time I look, they're coming up with something new, just to show. This is going to be a long video, man, so here we go. This is the CPU usage.
She the type of girl every brother want. A woman opinionated and freely blunt. Plus she carrying attitude that's nonchalant.
That just lets you know on one core we're using almost 50%. When I turn this one on, we're gonna use a lot of core. But I'm going to turn this one off. I'm not going to use both of them at the same time. This is on your main chain. I usually use a limiter and then I hit this. But just for this video's sake of time, I use this right here. Now, this does the same thing. It has a mix, a master, and assist. So I'm going to run through that also. Let me let you hear the difference between before and after with this. Now I'm going to have to turn down a little bit. Also, remember, the mastering doesn't add more volume as in level. It adds more thickness in loudness, but not in dB level. So the equipment is going to change and the sound is going to sound louder, but the dB is not going to move that much. So here we go. Watch this. This is everything off as far as mastering. Everything that's mixed is on. Watch this.
She the type of girl every brother want. A woman opinionated and freely blunt. Plus she carry an attitude that's nonchalant. No time for flexing while we counting up this money. We be stunting on our exes. Ain't no question when we riding high. On 95, there's no letter in the apple.
Listen to the vocals. His vocals is sitting perfect. Whenever I'm mastering, I concentrate on, are those vocals sitting perfect? The right frequencies is sticking out just enough so you can clearly hear what he's saying and understand what he's saying. Not the loudness of it, but the mix of the clarity is what we're shooting for, especially in mastering. Here we go.
She the type of girl every brother want. A woman opinionated and freely blunt. Plus she carry an attitude that's nonchalant. No time for flexing while we counting up this money. We be stunting on our exes. Ain't no question when we riding high. On 95, there's no letter in the alphabet compared to you and I. Doing suicides in the parking lot with you right by my side. Can't deny you my ride or die. New age Bonnie and Clyde. Sitting higher than the friendly sky. It's pure ecstasy.
And that's, I'm sorry, y'all. That bass is slapping you so deeply. Now, when I put this on, the first thing I do is moderate, vintage, a reference. You can load a reference track. We're asking people to send a reference track so we can get your mix to sound closer to what it is that you're looking for. Then you got medium and high, but just for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna stick with medium. You can click. Now it's waiting for me to play the music, the overall music into it. And once it plays it, it's going to analyze. Now you're going to hear a lot of different changes and popping because this is taking up a lot of CPU power. Well, here we go. Watch this, y'all. It's analyzing, right? Here we go.
Girl, every brother want. A woman opinionated and freely blunt. Plus she carry an attitude that's nonchalant. No time for flexing while we counting up this money. We be stunting on our exes. Ain't no question when we riding high. On 95, there's no letter in the alphabet compared to you and I. Doing suicides in the parking lot with you right by my side. Can't deny you my ride or die. New age Bonnie and Clyde. Sitting higher than the friendly sky. It's pure ecstasy. Can't you see? It's our destiny that we was meant to be. Me and you against the world. Bringing heaven overseas. Hit our guns out and the costa. Yeah, we hit it when the cops come. Always keep it moving product through the streets. Yeah, shorty even took a couple felonies for me. Making moves out LA, couple bites in DC. Man, loyal ass queen is all the king. Me and that shit.
Now here you can change the stages. Like let's say if you want to go dynamic, you can move this in EQ first, or you can go EQ last. A lot of time, this is like preference, to get a different sound. You want to EQ everything and then dynamic. Then you got another dynamic, even though it's off. Then you got your mastering right here for your level, setting your levels. Then you can I can add more EQ or exciter, image, you know. These are just different things. Stereo spreader.
She the type of girl every brother want. A woman opinionated and freely blunt.
That's mono.
Carry an attitude that's nonchalant. No time for flexing while we counting up this money. We be stunting on our exes. Ain't no question when we riding high.
Depending on what type of sound you're looking for, and it also give you, this thing just give you all kinds of stuff to help with mixing and mastering. But like I said, it's an art. It's an art to mixing and mastering. So once, let's say everything is set and this is how I want it, my last go-to, I usually do this first. This right here is like a one knob kills you, man. Here we go.
She the type of girl every brother want.
Let me play a different part of the song, just in case y'all guys keep playing the same thing over and over again. Now, with this plugin, this wave limiter, and you can use any limiter. I just like this wave limiter. It gives you a softer ceiling, so to speak. I just use this until I see maybe 1, 2, no more than 3. If I'm seeing 4 or 5 lights coming on in this area, then my mix is not right. So I'm gonna bring this down, and I'm gonna over bring it down so you can hear what's going on. Here we go. I don't like that kick. I don't like the way the kick is sounding now. We done with this.
We on the hunt for the finer things. Diamonds and gemstones on wedding rings. Look at all this expensive shit that money brings. It's like the heaven saying you can have anything. I put that shit on everything. My love is unconditional. That's the reason why I never let you go. This is the truest shit I ever spoke.
That was way too much, but my point is, I wish you can't see the levels. The levels is still at 0, 100% red 0. All right, these are your main levels right here. This is what the my mastering set is on. Usually I have this on top, the limiter on top, and then go into, because I don't want too much going into my mastering kit. So
things. Diamonds and gemstones on wedding rings. Look at all this expensive shit that money brings. It's like the heaven saying you
see the levels right here? Watch the levels right here. Just to be on the safe side, I'll bring 1.1 dB down just to be on the safe side. I'm gonna hit it hard. I'm gonna hit it real hard.
things. Diamonds and gemstones on wedding rings. Look at all this expensive shit that money brings. It's like the heaven saying you can have anything. I put that shit on everything. My love is unconditional. That's the reason why I never let you go. This is the truest shit I ever spoke. Probably cause the realest shit I ever smoke. I pray my love with.
I did that on purpose. I really smashed it. I would never do that. But my point is, no matter how much we're pushing into this, the output is going to be 0. It's at -1. It never even reached 0. And that's why I brought this down, just because I knew I was going to push it real hard. One more time. I just wanted to point out some of the things that I use when I'm mixing and mastering music. I apologize, this video is real long. When I'm doing my thing, I can't explain different things. I just go by feeling. I feel it, I hear it, and do it. And I keep doing this to your music until it sounds close to something like this. Because some of this stuff is not 100%. It's not 100% mixed. But I did a mixed version of this song right here. So, again, this is just an example to let you guys know how Mike Cross mixed music and why they used to call me the mix master. Peace out, man. Happy doing this music. Happy musicking. Here we go.
She the type of girl every brother want. A woman opinionated and freely blunt. Plus she carrying attitude that's nonchalant. No time for flexing while we counting up this money. We be stunting on our exes. Ain't no question when we riding high. On 95 there's no letter in the alphabet compared to you and I. Doing suicides in the parking lot with you right by my side. Can't deny you my ride or die. New age Bonnie and Clyde. Sitting higher than the friendly sky. It's pure ecstasy. Can't you see? It's our destiny that we was meant to be. Against the world, bringing havoc overseas. Hit our guns out and the Costa, yeah, we hit it when the cops would come. Always keep it moving, product through the streets. Yeah, shorty even took a couple felonies for me. Making moves out LA, couple bites in DC. Man, lawyer ass queen is all the king, me, and that's you.
Peace out, y'all.